Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm back at it here, and this time with the same deck I'm rocking. Instead of the mini P.E.K.K.A, I'm going with the Prince. And if you know me, and especially last season towards the end, I've been switching between mini P.E.K.K.A and the Prince a lot. So we're gonna play with the Prince. It does give some, upside in terms of what it can do, but obviously some drawbacks. But all in all, it should still be a really, really solid option. I think the Vine spell is just absolutely filthy. I'm just going to drop it right here. And look at that. We are damaging down the Inferno Dragon. And we're actually going to beat the Inferno Dragon. And the Baby Dragon is still locked onto the tower, guys. For 3 Elixir, I think the Vine spell is just absolutely broken. Definitely going to need some sort of nerf. Because I also think that it's making freeze really, really difficult to justify. Maybe in some edge cases, if you really need to defend like a massive amount of swarm, it makes sense. But besides that, it just makes it really, really difficult to justify it. So I'm going to go recruits here. Should be an amazing option. The bandit's actually going to pull over a 5th recruit there. So that's going to be absolutely massive because he's going to leave that left side, giving us the opportunity to damage that down quite a bit. And we have recruits dashing and clashing onto the tower. That's going to be massive, massive stuff. E-Spear was actually able to chain onto the tower, which is pretty solid for us. Ice Wizard gets one more hit. Lumberjack will get taken out. I'm gonna go Prince here. Not really the greatest of options. I mean, I know we had the Baby Dragon, but I'm gonna go send the Ram Rider as well. And okay, he's just got a whole bunch of like just random swarm. I'm just gonna let that through. I know the goblins are level 16, so it's gonna be pretty filthy the amount of damage they do. But for the fact that we just took out his tower, I would definitely take that. It's a really interesting deck that he's got together. And obviously, as you can see, it's not going to do all that great against Swarm. If your opponent's just going to go non-stop, Goblin Gang, and the Wall Breakers and Skeleton Barrel and whatnot, it can be a little bit challenging. But all in all, still a really solid option here. I'm going to go with our Evil Baby Dragon. Just an amazing option on defense. Going to get the Prince ready. And then we're going to go for Vine Spell. And that's going to slow things down massively for us. Let's go for the recruits as well. And we should be pretty good here because we're going to basically focus up on a little bit of a counter push. Look at the Prince just absolutely running through everything and dashing towards the tower for a really, really nice hit. So let's get the E-Spear going here. I'm going to go Baby Dragon. I'm going to go for Prince here. I'm just going to go and Vine Spell this. And yeah, that right there is going to be a pretty solid match. Good game, Wolf. All right, next match here. Keeping things rolling. And we're starting out with the Baby Dragon in hand. So that is typically a pretty solid option. Just because Evil Baby Dragon's 1 cycle. And I think that has to change, I feel like, at some point. Because it's just really, really great. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to... Okay, I really want to try that out. Maybe on the next one. I know exactly what deck he's running, so we'll be ready for this. Unless he just grabs something out of his hat, but we should be good here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to Vine Spell this, which is going to be a really solid option to defend that. Archer Queen gets taken out. I don't think he might have popped the ability, and I just wasn't really paying attention. But we're able to force a zap out from him, which is nice. So I don't remember if they have a great answer to Ram Rider outside of, the usual. But we should be fine here. We take both of them. I was a little bit late in that regard, but yeah, I think it's just Mega Knight that he really has on defense here. So, and we didn't have Lightning for his Archer Queen at the beginning, which made it a little more challenging. I'm gonna go recruits here though, so we should get 4. Working down this Mega Knight, which is going to be great. And we'll have to see how we want to handle this. He's got Goblin Gang, so that's something to keep in mind. All those recruits are going to get taken out, unfortunately, but they are going to crash on through first, which is really, really nice. I'm going to go Prince here because he just gave up his gang. So it makes me curious what else he's going to have here. Maybe Wall Breakers to kite. Oh, right. He's got his own. That does make sense. I'm going to go for the Ice Wizard here. And I'm basically just going to go in. I know he's got that Mega Knight. And I think they typically have bats. But maybe it's just a different version. Anyways, we have the Vine Spell, which is going to be great here. I think we just out-cycled him. So I'm not going to overcommit here and go with like the Vine Spell. That's definitely more of a finishing move. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually just gonna Vine Spell this down, and that's gonna give ourselves a decent amount of time to defend against everything. Ice Wizard's gonna be great as well. We get some recruits on the tower. I'm gonna go Ram Rider here. He might, oh, wait a second, what? Okay, I'm just gonna do this here. Ram Rider's gonna force out a Zap, which is really, really nice. And we'll have Prince on Prince here. And we're back to our recruits, which is gonna be great. He's gonna have to drop his Mega Knight right here to defend this. Yeah, there's his evil Mega Knight. So I'm gonna go for Baby Dragon. And we obviously have the recruits ready. And we can definitely go for the Vine Spell here. And that's going to be really, really solid because the Archer Queen can't really do anything. And now we're going to force a pretty late ability. I'm going to do this, drop this as well. I'm going to go with the Evil Baby Dragon. That should chain onto everything and make the Prince a little have to work a little bit harder to make it to our tower. We have both sides down a pretty, basically the same amount of health now. I'm going to go Ram Rider here. Oh, he opted for that side. Okay, I'm going to go Vine Spell. Maybe a little bit questionable there. Was really hoping for a little bit more. I'm going to go E-Spirit here because we can take the damage. Totally fine. That was definitely a bad move on my part, I would say. I'm going to go Ice Wizard here. That Prince shouldn't really be that much of a threat. This is a little bit closer than I really imagined. But let's see what we are going to do here. He does have that Evil Mega Knight. I'm going to go Ram Rider on this side though, and he's going to give up that Evil Mega Knight. That's going to be great for us. I'm going to go ahead and Vine Spell this. Maybe get our Ram Rider to charge on through, and the Vine Spell is actually going to wrap things up for us. Good game, well played. The Vine Spell is a massive upgrade, especially again on a matchup like this. Good game, well played. Let's get on to another one. All right, next match here. So the one thing I probably should have mentioned is if you don't have Evil Baby Dragon, you know, you can definitely still run a deck very similar to this, whether you want to go with Baby Dragon, or if you want to use another anti-air troop, definitely feel free to do something like that as well. This should be able to help kind of chain onto everything. And unfortunately, the Baby Dragon got distracted by the Hog Rider. I'm going to go Ice Wizard here. Should be okay. We are at least going to be able to take out that Witch, I think. I'm going to go and Vines this because we need to defend against that Prince. And I think the Prince is going to get taken out. Yeah, really, really nice. That was kind of close there. But it's a very interesting Hog Rider deck, but I'm really enjoying seeing all these different decks rather than just some of the, you know, typical ones. I mean, we still see them, but all these new different types of decks are really nice to see. Let's go Ram Rider here. I'm obviously going down the side that's a little healthier, or that's a little more damaged, at least in his eyes, but totally fine here as well. I'm going to go for the E-Spirit and see what he does. I'm going to go Recruits. This is going to be a little bit sus. I'm going to go with the Ice Wizard here. That should be good because Ice Wizard is going to slow that down and everything's going to crash onto the Witch, which is nice. Ice Wizard will also be tanking for the Recruits, which is not something I feel like I would say that often, but that Recruit is putting in mad work on that right side, and that's going to basically bring us almost to a tie. So that's really, really solid. So from here, what I want to do is be a little bit patient. We don't really have the cards to go in, but I'm going to go Prince, slow roll it from the back. We have Vine Spell, so if he's just going to go Prince on Prince, you know, that's something I could do if I really wanted to. I'm going to go hit him with the Vine Spell and hit the Valkyrie as well. Guys, this is massive. This type of interaction is wild, wild stuff. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to obviously go for the E-Spirit. That is obviously going to make things more challenging for the Hog Rider, and that actually prevents the Hog Rider from getting any hits. And we have now a 50% sped up Ram Rider, and that's going to be some massive, massive stuff right there. What I'm going to do here is, actually, I think we'll take it out. We don't even need to go for anything. That's really nice. I'm going to go Ice Wizard. I'm going to go Prince here. I'm just going to go ahead and Vine Spell this. As I said before, the Vine Spell is basically a substitute more or less for a building because it just slows them down just enough for your Prince in this case, or Mini P.E.K.K.A. if you're rocking the other version, to kind of really just, you know, put in the work and damage down whatever troops that your opponent is sending. So this is making our opponent quit. This deck is really solid. Good game, well played. Let's get on to another one. All right, next match here, keeping things going. And also, if you don't have the Vine spell, I do think it is going to get nerfed, so don't get too excited. I would say if you don't have it, and you know, don't fret too much about it, is basically what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be something that is going to stay this good for a really long time, especially after the season. I don't think it's so broken to the point where it needs an emergency nerf, but it's definitely really good, and I think it's going to get a nerf. So I think this is going to be Expo. Expo is going to be really interesting here because obviously we don't have something like Earthquake. We have Lightning, and this might be the opportunity actually to have snared it with the Vine spell, but you know, we don't have our recruits and he has Expo. So this is going to be interesting for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go Ice Wizard here, and I think what I'll probably just do is I'm just going to go ahead and Lightning this. And I'm going to go for something like the E-Spirit just to kind of soak up some damage. I probably could have put it a little bit closer, so that's probably my bad, but definitely going to be holding on to the recruits now for the Expo. So this is definitely going to be probably a full 5-minute game. At least I'm playing for that. We should have the advantage overall, so I'm not really keen on throwing it away. I'm going to go Ramrider here. It'll end up taking some damage from the Archer, but that's fine. And Evil Baby Dragon's not really going to do anything. I think it's not... Evil Baby Dragon, I feel like could maybe... The speed up of your own troops probably could get a little nerf. But besides that, I don't feel like this is a super broken deck. I'm going to send Ice Wizard down this lane just because I don't really want to give him too much value. So obviously I'm going to go recruits now. I'm going to go ahead and snare this. Obviously we don't hit the Archer because that's less health. It has less health. So I'm going to need to go Prince here. So that just didn't work out for us as well as I would have hoped. Expo's going to lock on, is what it is. We'll get him on the next one, I think. So we haven't really gotten any damage since the beginnings, but I'm going to go recruits here. And I'm kind of curious how the Vine spell, I think it basically works kind of like a reset as well on that Expo. So I'm just waiting and just kind of biding my time, not giving up too much, but giving up, you know, a little bit if that's okay in general. I'm going to go with the Lightning here, kind of clean up the Archers as well. I'm surprised he didn't try the Lightning block. I'm going to go ahead and Vine spell this just to put a little more pressure on them because typically they don't have anything else after their initial defense. So Ramrider is going to get a hit off, which is really nice. I'm going to go with the Evil Baby Dragon. And this should be pretty good. Baby Dragon's on the Expo, and recruits are going to clash on through as well. So we're going to go for the Ramrider here, and we're going to get that speed up, which is going to be pretty insane. We're going to go ahead and Vines this. Just to put, again, a little more pressure because obviously he's got that recruit he still has to deal with. And he's not going to do anything, which is really wild. Expo's just going to reload here. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go ahead and Lightning this. I'm going to go with the E-Spirit here. Unfortunately, didn't really time that as well as I would have liked. Ice Wizard here because, oh wow, I was a little bit late there actually. What? All right, we'll go with the Prince here. And we're just going to snare this, keep our Ice Wizard alive more or less. And then, yeah, basically it works like a reset in that scenario. So this is getting really close here, guys. So I need to get my Ramrider behind the recruits. And then I need enough for Lightning. And we should be good here. I'm going to go ahead and drop that Lightning, hit one of the Archers. He's going to miss the log. And that right there is good game, well played. Really solid stuff. I think the Vine spell is just really great because it resets anything and everything. It damages enough to take out goblins, and it basically acts like a freeze. Obviously only targeting 3 instead of, you know, a whole area, but for usually that's the most that you would typically need anyways. But really solid stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing with the Vine spell, and I think a lot of people are gonna be using Vine spell if they haven't already. But hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.